It's Josh Kane to break off frame number 1. Match clock 50 minutes and a race to 8. And he makes a couple of balls as well. In fact, he's made 3. A couple of reds and a yellow. Nice split as well. For me, reds look the easiest suit, so I suggest he probably take them, and I think Josh will probably agree. This promises to be a mouth-watering tie.
Yeah, doesn't it ever? Across on table 2, it's Shane Thompson against Christy Coldfield. Shane has edged ahead in that one. He's 5-3 up, but that's a tough game. Christy's been playing really well this weekend. That one is being streamed across on YouTube. We're there all weekend. But the main event is happening here. This is the pick of the matches. Josh Kane been carving his way through the field so far. He's had a great weekend. He really is playing well. I saw him play earlier, and he was behind against Clayton Castaldi, but came through to win that one. And well, we all know what Craig Waddingham can do. He's a fantastic player himself, but he's going to have a tough one here against Josh. You'd say that, you know, on paper Craig probably goes in as a slight favourite, but the way Josh has been playing, who knows?
Yeah, I was on Josh's match against John Chambers, and John had a couple of dry breaks. Didn't play badly, but Josh, apart from the very first frame, was very bitty, and it was just a bit of early match nerves, I think. But after that, you have to say Josh, he was Killer Kane.
Left the perfect angle here as well. This cue ball has been on a string all the way through this clearance. Lovely, simple enough shot. He's taking these out really well. A very impressive start from Josh Kane. And that means business. Breaking clearance in frame 1 is exactly what he would have wanted. That's it. The start, the perfect start for him. Craig Waddingham will get his chance. The break off in frame 2. The break's going to be really important. I mean, it's always important. Every match is important, of course, but it's going to be important in this one for sure. They've both got big breaks. We saw Ian Alley earlier. He came through, he was behind all the way through against Luke Gilbert, and his break was just letting him down time after time. Couldn't find a ball. Somehow managed to find his way back into that match. Got a ball in the last frame and came through that 8 frames to 7. And that really did highlight how important the break is in that match. It was a fabulous match we watched earlier with Dave McQuillan over on the other table. So now we see Craig Waddingham. A lot of power in this break. He timed it, didn't he? He took a bit off that one. You can hit them a lot harder than that, but he decided to go for timing over power. I've seen a lot of players do that. Very effective. Bit of a messy table there, Tony.
Not so sure. Obviously, the yellow and the red are stuck together at the top. If he can make a red, that red that's behind the yellow isn't so bad because it's got a red next to it to get on it, and it's obviously the black and the red at the bottom. That's not too bad. So.
Has he got an opener on red? So does this one pass through the gap? No.
Well, that tells you the response to that. So we need to shift the ball at the top.
Not the easiest ball to move, and that's why I said, you know, I thought it might be a bit of an ugly table, because the 2 reds below it guard the angle to go into it from below, which means you might have to come into it from above. If you come in above, you've got the 2 reds directly below it, which kind of act as a buffer. So this isn't. He's looking to cannon the red, but I mean that's high tariff, surely.
I don't know if you couldn't just roll off the top rail with this and come back in that way. But
that was high risk for me. That relying on luck there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'd have preferred to come in off the top rail and then you're guaranteed to shift it. Okay, it might not come out great, but I don't know, I just thought it might be the easier of the two.
I guess he felt if he gets the yellow rolling, it releases towards the pocket, whereas if he comes at it from above, to say he's got those two reds that are just going to block it from going anywhere. He's tried to pump that in and make something happen, but he's playing himself into trouble here. He's going to have to come up with something a bit special here.
That is a tremendous pot, but he's tried to go into that yellow again.
The timing there was something else, wasn't it?
Right, he could bounce this, right, so you play the yellow into the red, it smashes into the cushion and goes back in the other top left hand corner. Ooh. I don't know where he's trying to get that, but he's in trouble now in this frame, Craig.
Josh won't be.
I think maybe thought he could cannon it in towards the middle, but he's, mind you, desperate times and all that.
Yeah, Josh won't be going for a clearance here, I don't think, unless he's actually on the bottom of the three reds. Oh, he was. He had a kind of safety net, he could go for it. I didn't realise he was on that. I thought he was just going to tuck in behind those three reds, maybe just try and develop a couple of them and leave a really tough snooker at the same time. Playing it the way he did, he's left Craig a one cushion escape. That's in the mix.
It was, all it needed was a brush off one of those reds and it could have gone into the middle.
Yeah, it's caused a headache for Josh. Landed between those two reds at the top of the table. Another one cushion escape though.
Yeah, well, Josh doesn't mind that because he wants Craig to get rid of that yellow out of the way of his reds.
Yeah, forcing him to move it.
Obviously, the downside of that is if you're going to play it, you're going to have to play it hard and hope to pot the yellow, because there's no point playing it softly and just leaving Josh to finish. So you put a bit of meat into that one. And that's probably the worst place that Craig could have put that, because, well, you're not going to expect Josh to miss, but if he was to fall over, that yellow's in a really, it's not going to be a gimme, no, it's in a really bad position.
There's no pressure whatsoever on this clearance now, is there?
No, that's exactly right.
So if he can navigate these reds, which we fully expect him to, perfect start for Josh Kane. First two frames. In fairly quick time as well. It's going to be around about 41 minutes left on the clock. Oh dear.
What did I say about where that yellow was?
Yeah. Absolutely. If that's anywhere near a pocket, then...
Well, he's just in open play anywhere.
Yeah.
He's just lost the frame, but... Okay, Craig's going to have a swipe at this. He's going to try and maybe cut the yellow along that bottom cushion. Josh would be really, really disappointed with that miss, because that's just one. It's like he'd knock that in 100 out of 101.
Yeah, Craig a little bit disappointed that he didn't get that going along the cushion, because the red being there created a slightly bigger pocket as well. Could have missed it by a bit and gone in off the red. Just didn't give it the chance. Josh Kane shouldn't have needed this extra chance.
Yep, just the simple stuff now for Josh. He's going to have a 2-0 lead. He's getting himself a bit close to this black ball.
Yeah, closer than he wanted, that's
Stopped
for sure.
up just quick enough to make it still easy, but he'd have been a little bit worried when that cue ball was travelling down the table. But it is Josh Kane, who now has a 2-0 lead.
I did wonder if he'd play that penultimate ball, just play it with a bit of stun and not use the side cushion. He elected to play it with the right hand side spin, but it does accelerate off that side cushion, and he got, as you say, a lot closer to his work than he hoped. Another roll and he would have been in trouble, but it held up just in time.
Well, not the start that the silver sniper would have wanted, as he wipes his cue down.
Yeah, no alarm bells ringing yet, though.
No, I mean, you know, we're talking a serial tour winner here.
Yeah, race to 8. Yeah, you never want to be 2 frames behind, but he's navigated these situations before. He knows he's going to get some chances.
I like that break, the way he caught that front ball really well and not really had the cue ball moving an awful lot there.
Yeah, beautifully timed, the cue ball just straight back up the middle of the table and with all the pace off of it. Lovely.
Got a nice, explosion into the pack there with not a massive amount of force, but it's just a nice controlled break.
I think if you could bottle a break and sell it, you'd make a lot of money out of that one. That's a really nice break. Because there's so little that can go wrong. The cue ball's not pinging around. It's unlikely to go in off. You're only going to go in off if you kicked in off, and that's going to be really unlucky.
Yeah. But this looks pretty straightforward again for Josh Kane, and 3-0 is a dream start for Josh. When he looked at the draw, he thought, "Ooh, I'm going to have to be on my game here," and there's going to be probably a few frames where he's going to sit and just watch them go by, but
just going to use the side cushion here. Come back down the table.
And that's perfect.
Yep. He's got the cue ball on a string at the moment.
They can pick and choose here. He can take the last yellow into the middle. It's not that much of a problem, or he'll probably screw back a bit and play it down into the bottom corner. That would be my preference. When I say preference, because neither shot's the wrong shot.
I guess if we've been super critical, he'd have rather just been the other side of the yellow. It's just the wrong angle, but just say it still should be fine. And that's the only reason he's taking a little bit. Yeah, that's the only reason he's taking a little bit of time. It's going to be close to the cushion if he runs through. So, oh my goodness, Josh.
Well, we saw that red in the last frame, which was, I can't explain how he missed it. And that one there, once again, I can't explain how he's missed it. Was he up quick?
It felt like he snatched it a little bit. I don't know. There's no reasoning for it. It's one of those, he knows he was probably just a little bit straighter than he wanted to be, and he knew he needed to get back to the right place for the last yellow.
When he queued down, he didn't. You could recognise when somebody's borrowing a bit of pocket, and he didn't look like he was doing that.
And I don't think he really needed to.
I think he's stretched down, and he's probably played. I wonder, and I've done this before, been guilty of it. You're queuing in the middle, you think, I'm just going to throw a bit of side on it and try and narrow it without getting up and get back down again. I just wonder if he's just done that.
Yeah, maybe
which is, that's a cardinal sin as a professional pool player. Yeah. I did it a lot, but it's a lazy shot, if you know what I mean, rather than a big mistake.
Yeah. And this is such an important frame. I mean, if Josh navigates that, 3 ahead, he's really stamping his authority on it. This pulls Craig back into the match because it's back.
I'd be fuming.
It's back on serve as well. He's breaking in the
fuming.
next.
You're absolutely fuming doing that. 2-1 to 3-0.
Yeah.
I'm sat there. I'm security are in the arena with me now. Honestly, I'll be going absolutely doolally. Craig can't believe it. He's thinking. I mean, he was just staring 3-0 in the face.
Yeah.
Thinking, right, what am I going to do to get myself into gear? And all of a sudden, he's just been handed a lifeline.
There's a little frown on his face, and you can understand what's going through his mind. He's pulled that face a few times now, and he's thinking to himself, "I do not know how I got back
It's
to the
the only
table."
face he's got, Nick.
And if he finds a good break in the next and clears, then that's going to leave Josh sat in the chair stewing over that. That's what he needs to do now. Just get down, nice break, clear the table, leave Josh thinking about it. Don't let him off.
Well, I'm sure Craig won't if he gets the ball off the break. But yeah, that miss. Wow. Well, Craig to break. Trailing just 2 frames to 1 now when it should really have been 3-0.
Looked for a second as if it might go dry, but one of the reds finds its way, and not a bad layout.
Well, I'll tell you what, just for a fleeting second there, that looked an absolute drop-in finish until that red went and parked itself next to the black ball.
Yeah. I mean, if he can get short position on it, it does go to the right centre. But as you say, calls.
Might be a play double. Cross double it now. Might have the room.
Nice shot. Just landed slightly high. A little bit more angle on this ball than ideal, but he can control it. He's got the yellow he can use as well. He can come down and cannon to that if he needs it. And he does.
That's banging position now. And this is going to turn out exactly as you said, Nick.
Yeah, leave Josh in his chair. Still thinking about that miss. Just wants to finish slightly low on this last red. Use that side cushion to get out for the 8 ball into the same pocket. Doesn't want to be too straight. I think he wants slightly more angle. Should still be okay, but this isn't ideal. May actually have to. Don't even think he can't use the side cushion there because I think the yellow's in the path. It's not ideal at all. Needed to be another 3 or 4 inches down the table, and this is an absolute formality. Wowee. That's on a postcard there. I mean, if he'd left this to, he's obviously left it to top right. If he's going to leave that, surely he could have got better than this, couldn't he? Was he trying to play like a stun run through?
It was a stun run through,
but it didn't run.
Tough shot to play. That is a tremendous black. Really, really good shot there from Craig Waddingham.
That's a great shot. And one that you feel that he would have been much more under pressure if he was 3-0 down. If Josh clears that frame earlier, he's 3-0 behind. Craig's got some real pressure on him to make that 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
But having got his hand on the table and now just being able to get his confidence up, he nails a really tough 8. We're all square, 2 frames apiece. Game over on table 3 isn't the fastest, and they're 2 pretty quick players as well. Christy Cofield fairly runs around the table, but that one's 6-4. It's been going for a while. they've played 2 frames in the time it's taken this table to play 4.
Oh, another great break there from Josh Kane.
Yes, sir, he'll say, keep those coming.
Yeah, but he's got to finish him off at the end of the frame.
I guess the red furthest up the table next to the yellow just needs a little bit of attention. I mean, he's got the red adjacent to it that can give it a nudge if he needs to develop it. He can do it now. He does. Two reds on the left-hand side, they do link up. If he can land on the right angle to the red to the middle, and he can hold the cue ball for the other red to bottom right. But he's going to have to move the ball over the pocket first, so it has to be the one to middle and then bottom right next and leave that angle. And take the one that's just above the yellow as his last red to get on the 8. Just needs a bit of attention. It's not really straightforward. You fancy him to get it, but that mistake, or those couple of mistakes he's made so far, will be in his mind. All about the angle he leaves here. Nothing for finishing low. You don't want to be too high on it either. This has to be, there's not a lot of margin of error. That looks good. Looks perfect.
You sort of just dribble this. If you can just pinch this with a bit right hand side and drag it through, which then narrows the angle as you cut that red into the middle, it will just basically glue the cue ball to that yellow, just like that.
Lovely. He wanted to finish straight enough to be able to get the cue ball through. If he finishes high there, then he's in a little bit of trouble because he's running into the yellows. I think he's just okay. He might just be running through and glancing the yellow, but he's looking at it because if he does have to touch the yellow, he doesn't want to push it across the pocket. That's the danger here.
Or push it in front of the black.
Or push it in front of the black, yeah. And for that reason, he threads it through the gap.
How do you like that little cute shot?
I didn't even think there was a gap there. That's lovely.
You know, it's lovely control there.
So he was obviously just a fraction higher than we thought, so he was tracking towards that yellow. He didn't want to risk pushing the yellow across the 8, so that's a lovely finish.
It is. Well, he's picked himself up off the floor after the inexplicable miss he had a couple of frames ago, and that's a bit more like it. So Josh Kane takes the 5th frame and now edges himself in front once again.
Yeah, that shows a lot of character as well.
Here's your match you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Shane Thompson, Chrissy Caulfield.
Yeah.
The man from Somerset there on the yellows. And this is to win the match. As you can see, it's a race to 8.
He's going to have a problem with the 8. I don't think he can screw past it, so he's going to have to go into it.
Come a bit far.
I think he's asking a lot there, isn't he?
I think he wants he's looking at punching that yellow in and thumping into the 8 ball and bringing it off the rail and trying to leave it into one of the corners at the top.
I'd rather go full ball and just bring it back out and hopefully land on it to the top left, but... Wow.
How'd you like that?
That works.
And it obviously goes. There's some shot that Shane played there. And well done.
Yeah, the players shake hands. A little shake of Christie's head there. Obviously disappointed to lose, but you feel that there's a story behind that somewhere along the line.
Time filler, wasn't it? Just perfect as well.
Yeah.
Lead us into this 6th frame with Craig Waddingham breaking off and making a ball. Trailing by the odd frame here. It's Josh Kane, the man from Coventry.
Not without his problems on this clearance. The yellow and red up on the top cushion, tied up. He's taking a close look at this yellow now to see whether it goes through the gap of the 2 reds. I mean, he can definitely play it to cushion and play it off of the red. It would go in that way. Not sure it goes past the red to go in directly, like the red that's just above it. Can't quite see from this angle. He tried to go up and develop the one on the top cushion. Actually, he's quite fortunate that he's landed on anything, because that could have easily gone wrong, Tony.
Yeah, very true. He just played sort of, he wasn't really bothered if that went or not. I think he just said it was a developing shot. He was going nowhere.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't a hard shot. Josh has got a red to right centre, but he's taking a look at this one, the second one in from the cushion, just taking it long. It's a fairly big pocket with the red up there. And then playing this, he develops the table because he brings the other red out into play. Much more to be gained from this shot. I thought he was going to take the nearer one rather than the further one, because taking the nearer one, he's going to run into the one on the cushion and bring it out. I don't know.
Well, he's got to immediately put the cue ball down, and he has done it just to move that yellow and red apart at the top of the table. So this is the angle he's chosen. Ugh, he played it with a bit of top. I don't know why he's got an off himself. Well, it's madness out there.
He's misjudged that by...
They're all possessed.
He's misjudged it by a mile. He's not picked that line. I mean, when you got ball in hand as well...
I would tend to play it a bit thinner and basically, so I'm looking at the target while I send the cue ball.
Yeah.
So rather than play it with the not so much angle, I play it with a bit of thinner angle and basically be aiming towards the yellow and just to make sure I smash it out.
Strange one for me, that, Tony. It really is.
Lost a turn there for Josh. That's not a bad shot.
Because when you got cue ball in hand, you'd think he'd just simply pick the line, but the way he played it, it almost seemed like he was playing it with a bit of screw inside. I mean, I guess he's trying to go cushion first and cannon it from behind, but yeah, I'm not sure about that at all.
No, there's certainly some gremlins in the arena tonight. Or does Josh get aggressive here? He certainly does now, because he's just given himself the angle on that red at the top of the table. We can pop that into the top left hand corner, and what he'll want to do is hit the yellow into the red and push the red towards that corner bag. Hopefully for Josh, he'll want to hold on to the other red in the middle, but he should have choice of shot after this.
Yeah, he's got the one to middle.
Yeah, second prize.
Yeah. The little cannon he played couldn't have come out much better. Not only did he develop everything, as you say, he left the perfect angle. Didn't quite have the angle to hold on the one at the top of the table, so he's going to have to come back for that. Doesn't really, I mean, it's not the ideal ball to leave as your last ball. He comes back for it now. No, he doesn't. Well, now he's moved that yellow, it's actually fine. That yellow was causing him a slight problem in having to go back up the table, but now he's opened up the ball to both pockets, then he's fine.
Well, just doesn't want to leave himself straight. Any sort of angle up here. And that'll do him. Just double checking the black goes in the bottom left, because it'd be a simple stun down the table. Wouldn't be massive drama if it didn't, because he just pulled the cue ball back and dropped down the other side.
That shot he just played.
He has done anyway.
That shot he just played is, I mean, he's played that so gently and timed it so well. The cue ball just zipped up the table. It just shows how little power you need if you time it. It's such, you know, club players should look at that shot.
Yeah, it's so reactive, the cloth.
Because you see players trying to smash screw shots in at club level. It just shows you don't need to if you
Used to
time
have
it right.
to when I played.
Well, you did, yeah, you did.
Full-grown grass pitch.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's an extremely reactive cloth, but he timed it beautifully. He barely hit it, and the cue ball just pinged off.
Well, some bizarre things happened in that frame there, mainly from Craig there when the cue ball in hand. After Josh had gone in off, he just followed suit and gifted the frame to Josh Kane, who now has that 2-frame advantage. Wouldn't he just love to get a big booming break here?
Broken well so far. Wants more of the same. Cue ball just squirts off the front. Didn't get that same timing. Didn't quite flush it.
No, the cue ball skipped a bit as he hit that one. Not as good as his earlier breaks.
And a dry break is the result. The saving grace for him is that there's a couple of balls tied up on the left-hand side. It's not a complete gimme. The worst thing you can do is go dry and just leave a load of plops. Work for Waddingham to do. Red's just gone a little bit too high to play it and get into the cluster, so it's going to look for a slightly different angle. It's a better angle. He needs to hit this with some pace though to make sure he gets that red out. And as a result, he was trusting the luck with the cue ball as he found the gap. He's been very fortunate if he has. I don't think so. Is he on the long one? Can he find the plotting angle of that to take to bottom left? Surely. Yeah. Oh, he's got the long one to bottom right.
Big shot this for Craig. Super pot.
Great cue ball as well.
Well, he caught the jaw in the middle.
Yeah.
But he'll take that, no problem. Just wants to glide this one up the rail. And I suspect that Josh has probably sat there looking on thinking, I'm going to get a go at these yellows. Well, I don't think he is now.
And a mistimed break from Kane, and Waddingham pulls it back within one again. Again, it's his break in the next. Looks like Josh is going to run out for a bathroom break.
This looks like Marion Jude. Not long ago, the world champion from France. Superb player. And that is Ashley Dinsmore from Northern Ireland, her opponent.
Marion on the hill in this, she's 6'4" up.
Been a bit of a battle then. Two great players. And that is certainly not what Ashley wanted there. Not hit a rail, so that will be cue ball in hand for Marion. Rice smile.
This is one of the games wrapping up the last 32. The other two games, Lucy Smith 1-0 up against Colette Henriksen. Kirsty Lee Davis 2-1 up against Rachel Davis, and that will close out that last 16. The last 16 really starting to take shape.
Well, she'll be a bit disappointed there with Marion. She's obviously how cue ball in hand left herself the angle there. She won't just kick that yellow into the open so it's easily available. She's going to have to do it all over again. I think she does have an angle with this other yellow, but it's just made it a little bit more tricky now for the French international. And that's why she's been a world champion. Classy little shot there. But still got to judge a very sort of tricky. Oh, she doesn't have to screw back. She can just drop the cue ball, drop the yellow in and stop. And play the thin yellow at the top.
Getting on the 8 ball.
Yeah, she's okay. She's got the angle.
Here, yeah.
Well, but you've got to ping this with a low left-hand side.
Yeah.
Off that top rail.
Yeah, you don't. It's not one you want to screw, is it? Because it narrows out the angle. You just want to let the side do the work.
Yeah, we don't want to go too far with it because that red is a bit of.
She's getting into the bottom of the ball.
That's really good. That's a great shot from Marion. Perfect. Could not play that any better. If you want to put it there with your hand, that's where you put it. Well, maybe not. You put it right behind the 8, but let's just say that's a classy finish.
She deposits the 8 ball. They will shake hands, and that's Marion Jude through into the next round.
Well, we were greedy there. We stayed there a little bit longer because we wanted to see the end result there from Marion. She progresses, and we're going to see this break. Made a red ball. So can Craig Waddingham get himself back level with Josh Kane? The balls are there. We'll know how quick Craig can play when he starts to get in the flow. He's one of the real speed merchants around the table. Him, Sean Chipperfield, another one. Do not hang about at all.
Just far enough. If it's going to take the one to top left, which no, he's going to take. He's got options. I mean, he could take either. He can obviously take the one to middle. I mean, there's some pretty good gaps through the yellows, so just pick a line and come through whichever gap he chooses. Probably takes the safer option. No, he does come through the trickier gap just to get a bit closer to the 8.
Yeah, sometimes it pays to be greedy.
Yeah. Little flick on the yellow on the way past, but
he won't mind that. He's got a nice angle, just punch it off the rail. So this looking like 4 each. These frames been won in little batches of 2.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. 2-0, 2-all, 4-2, 4-all.
Well, is the Rock going to stop then with Craig? Is he going to be the first one out of these two to make it 3 frames in a row? And we'll find out in the next frame. Will be Josh to break off in frame 9.
So the other game going on at the moment, across on the other table, Aaron Davis against Zach Shepherd, 1 frame each.
I thought you were leading up to something incredibly exciting then and
No,
intense.
sorry. No, just an update.
It's just the way you built that up. I thought, oh, what's gone on? And then it's 1-1. Well, it'll take that for a break, will Josh?
Yeah, another really good layout. It's going to take reds here. You could just about make a case for either, but pretty sure it's going to be reds.
I'm going to go against the grain as well. The black ball is dominating because I don't think the black passes that red into the bottom right hand corner, else I would take yellows. But just purely because of that, reds. So I agree with you basically, Nick, is what I'm saying.
Just needs to mind his work here. It's left an angle on the one to top left. Is naturally going to go into the yellow, so probably needs to take his medicine and leave something longer. He's going to elect to screw past it. That's nice. He controlled it well.
Yeah, I like that shot.
Yeah.
I like that shot a lot.
He had to play a really delicate, well-controlled shot, and he did.
If he had some angle there, if he could pot this and punch that into that 8 ball, that'd be nice.
Reddy's closest to must go through the gap.
Yep. If I did have the angle, I'd still punch the 8 up the table just a little bit.
I think he's targeting it for left centre, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Well, Josh goes 5-4 up. And if it follows the same pattern, Josh Kane's going to win this frame as well.
He saw that clearance early, executed it really well. Very nice cue ball throughout. That was Josh Kane at his best. Still very much in the balance. A race to 8. Josh Kane with the slight advantage. 5-4 ahead. With Craig Waddingham with a chance for riposte in frame 10.
Frame 10, Craig Waddingham to break. Desperately needs a ball. Can he stop the pattern of 2?
I reckon yes. He started breaking well. I think. Lovely. Well timed. Maybe not that easy an opener on yellows. There could have been an easier one out there.
He wants to be brave, he can take the yellow that's next to the middle down into the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah. Yellows would definitely be the preference if you could find an opener, wouldn't they? But, I mean, the reds are there. He's taking this yellow.
It's because he's brave.
Yeah. What do they say? If you're scared, call the police. No fear.
I thought you would say fortune favours the brave. Done me again.
knew if he takes that one tricky pot, the layout is just really simple for him. Which it wasn't quite so simple on reds. As I say, they were there, but just a little bit trickier. Lovely release of the cue ball.
So if he continues on and gets this finish, so we're looking at around 5 each with 15 minutes of play left. Roughly, I'm guessing now. I've given him this finish, obviously.
Yeah, it will be an interesting finish. They're both quick players, but
Well, it will be 5 frames left maximum, so that's 3 minutes a frame.
yeah. And if it goes all the way, the shot clock is definitely going to come into play. We're definitely going to be playing in 15-second territory, which adds another little element of pressure. Craig using his extension there, he didn't finish with the ideal angle. He was just a bit straight on that yellow, so again just takes some medicine, leaves this long yellow. He's just been knocking these in for fun. Anything long, I mean, this isn't a challenge compared to some of the ones he's taken on. Beautiful. He's just such a fantastic single ball potter. Delightful. And he does break the pattern.
Indeed he does. And there you see we have 15 minutes and 2 seconds. And the match is now deadlocked at 5 each. So effectively a best of 5 as we look at this wonderful ultimate pool arena here in Robin Park, Wigan.
See Aaron Davis there, that's the other table that's of course on the YouTube stream. He was just on the right hand side of the picture, bottom right. There he is.
Good old cyborg.
And when we stepped across to the Marion Jude game, that's kind of where you see that blue light is directly behind that, behind the curtain. You see one of the other ladies' games just going on there on the other 5th table. So there's 5 tables in this cluster, and then more tables you can see behind, making up this pro room. And you even see the curtain in the background. That's actually an area behind there where there's 3 practice tables where they're making some social media content, and they've got the youngsters out there having a bit of a knock around, getting used to the tables. So Craig sort of stepped out of the arena for a moment.
Yeah, I think he wants to just ready himself now for the final portion of this match. As we see Craig Waddingham return.
Craig coming back into the arena.
Distance.
Just we'll have a quick look at. We're just going to head across and just have a quick look at what was happening on the other table. What I can tell you is Aaron Davis 2-1 up against Zach Shepherd. But we're back with this match. 5 each. Race to 3.
And that cycle got broke by Craig Waddingham, and Josh Kane breaks try. Waddingham never led in this match.
No.
But then this looks a little bit. It's probably the worst split of the match, I think. This, looking at it.
Yeah, it's a real mess. I mean, 2, 3 problem areas on the table. Yellow's tied up, red's tied up. How do you attack from here? The yellow's on the left-hand side, but I'm not even sure. I mean, you could, the top yellow of those 3, if you can find an angle, you could use that yellow to middle and then try and develop the other two below it, but I guess he thought he didn't have much to go for, but definitely throwing the hand back across to Josh. Reds now only have one ball tied up. It's a tricky ball to get out that red that's on the left-hand side there. There's no ball naturally around it that you can use to attack. The normal ball would be the red on the right-hand side, but the yellow's in the way of that angle, and because of that, players have elected. Sorry, Josh has elected to take on yellows. Was that the deciding factor, Tony? Do you think that red, that lone red on the left-hand side, you can't get it out, can you?
No, you're right.
Ideally left a bit of angle here to be able to screw back down, but you can play that shot I mentioned a second ago. Just finish slightly high on the top yellow to middle, and then try and develop the other two yellows. He's come too high. Need to be 4 or 5 inches further down the table. He knew he needed to finish just slightly high, but because of that, it's taken him way too high. Difficult to see any aggressive option from here, and there's nowhere really to hide either.
Yeah, we're going to see a little bit of a chunk of time used up during this frame.
Yeah,
that brings all sorts of things into play.
The other thing that Josh has obviously done is move the yellow that was causing the problem. Craig with better options now to try and develop that red, but he doesn't need to. He's in control of the table. He holds all the cards here. It's Josh that needs to make something happen. He's just going to weld in behind, or he tried to weld in behind the two yellows. Has he left this one on the... He's not left the one along the bottom cushion. Has he left the plant? A bit clumsy if he's left either. Or should have been tucked right in behind those yellows. All the red's on, and he's left the long red top left. If he gets it, he's got to fancy him for the frame.
Well, we are about to head into the old 15 seconds of shot. When we hit this 10 minutes of the match clock left, you'll hear a little ding in a second. And there it is. This will be the last shot that's played at 30 seconds. And this is just what Craig Waddingham would have wanted.
Yeah, this is for 3 on the bounce as well.
It is.
3 pack, as the Americans like to call it. At a crucial time in the match as well. What a time to go ahead for the first time in the game, given the dynamics of the match so far and the situation with the match clock.
Josh can only look on. Now then, can he just play this red with a load of left-hand side? Just squeeze it off that left-hand cushion. Send the keyboard towards that yellow that's just to the right of the red. Hold for the black in the middle. He managed to come through the gap and play the black in the other one. And in it goes. And Craig Waddingham now leads 6 frames to 5 with 8.5 minutes left on the match clock.
Big frame. There's a man who, he's just got that steely look about him now. Looks totally determined, but can't take his foot off the pedal. He's got the break in the next. If he goes dry, then it could be all square, and it really is back in the mix. But he holds the cards at the second.
Here's Zach Shepherd, 2-2 with Aaron Davis. We just have a little wander across.
It's a nice pot.
This match is on live as well on YouTube and Ultimate Pool.
That's a pretty horrible layout for Zach. I mean, he's got a couple of pockets covered. Another super break.
Well, it's all about the red that's stuck to the yellow.
Yeah, I was just wondering if he had an angle now to screw back into it, but I think he's too straight, so he's going to have to think of a plan for that. Definitely needs to be moved. He's going to go yellows.
Yellow goes in the top left.
I mean, at my level, the yellows looked infinitely more difficult than the reds, but my level is nowhere near Craig Waddingham's, and he's backing himself to get this clearance. Why not? He saw that straight away, didn't he? Saw that developing shot. Me as, you know, just a mere club player, I'm looking at that table thinking, it's looked nice, he's just got one difficult one and the rest are all in the open, but Craig knew one little developing shot to start with and he's away.
The writing may be on the wall for Josh Kane. He's going to have it all to do should Craig Waddingham take out this frame. Nothing you can do in that chair.
Yeah, that really was his only hope, that something goes wrong with that shot, and it has a little bit.
It's tricky now. You have to go up and play the long ball.
Yeah.
This is a massive shot.
Much harder than it should have been.
Oh, that is absolutely clinical. What a pot there from Waddingham.
Deserved best though, didn't he? I mean, he's slightly can he cue to the side of the red. He's just hampered, but clamps on the 8. Could have gone wrong, but he's on it.
And it just slides in as well. Wow, what a finish there from Waddingham.
That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, Craig Waddingham.
7-5 he leads now. And he's produced his best right at the very end of this match. He's on the hill. And Josh Kane can do absolutely nothing. He's not played badly, Josh. A couple of probably little finicky misses early doors, but they were both at it. There's a strange frame in the middle of the match where they were both missing balls, but this is really, well, Craig's gone into overdrive just at the right time, and this is what true champions do. And he looks intent. So Josh Kane to break off in frame 13. Needs all 3 frames, at least 2. And if the clock runs down, he might get a 6 red shootout. That's the only hope. All 3, he can't afford a mistake. And that is an absolute disaster. He's gone dry. Craig Waddingham, eyes darting around the table. Josh takes his chair once again. The match is just, it's like he just completely got stuck in the mud. Josh Kane. And out of nowhere, Craig Waddingham has sprouted wings like Pegasus.
Yeah, 4-2 behind. And as soon as he got his nose in front, as soon as he got a sniff, I mean, he's just so good. He's been unstoppable. You can look back and really pick up a couple of mistakes from from Josh Kane early doors, but just been a bit of a special performance from Craig in the second half of this match.
Yeah, it's been absolute class the last few frames. Got to feel a bit for Josh there, you know, the dry breaks, it just all happened at the wrong time, and it just,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do.
Punishment.
And down goes the black, and Craig Waddingham fires over the line. Came from absolutely nowhere, like a runaway horse with the whip.